Hey everybody, it's Stephen the Old World Gamer along with Scott Devin Kane, and welcome back to another episode of the Retro Indie Pixels podcast.
Started off with the giggles again. We're back.
Because I was dancing to the music. You don't get that.
Yeah, I know. I don't get to hear the music, the awesome. It's only one-sided. I want to dance too. I'm a white boy. I need to show everybody I don't know how to dance. Anyway, we're back again with your gaming news and get the pleasures of whatever you decide to talk about this week. So yeah, we did our very best to avoid everything. That wasn't the coronavirus, but apparently we didn't make it. You okay over there? Jesus. Now 30 seconds in and we're already brrr. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. We got Scott back.
But, yeah, we did everything we possibly could to avoid as much Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff as possible because it's everywhere. It's literally freaking everywhere. So
we also have new internet, which means, it's going to be a good podcast. There's not going to be a buffer. There's not going to be hold on. We got to restart because, got to go at like 30 kilobits per second on this fucking upload.
So for those of you who don't speak Bill Cosby, oh shit, I probably just moved my mic and heard my shit.
I'm a little excited.
We're a little excited because we have all the good internets again. So we're gonna get through an entire podcast, most likely not have to restart. That means that I'm probably going to have a car plow through my bedroom door and just get there. We're knocking on wood on that. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, if we don't have anything else to announce to the general public.
Don't think so.
Don't think we do. Yeah. We're going to go right into SDK's news, and as always, brought to you by VG247. So, been talking to you guys about how the Valve Index has been basically unavailable everywhere. Well, Valve has said that they are going to be restocked before Half-Life Alyx. It was recently announced that there should be a Valve Index restock just in time for Half-Life Alyx, which launches later this month. The Valve Index VR headset sold a remarkable 103,000 units after the announcement of Half-Life Alyx, but catastrophe soon struck. Valve's production schedule for the pricey headset was thrown completely off its axis as a result of the coronavirus, and to the extent that it was completely out of stock just a month ahead of Half-Life Alyx's release date. However, a recent report from RPS mentioned that a Valve Index restock could be on the way. Specifically, it's rumored that the headset will go back on sale Monday, March 9th. However, it's also likely it will sell out almost immediately. The rumor comes from the unofficial Steam database Twitter page, which says Valve Index VR kits will be available for purchase on March 9th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Due to high demand, Valve expects available stock to sell out on Monday. It's a bit fishy, but they also went on to post another tweet which explicitly mentions the restock. Valve Index VR kits will be available for purchase on March 9th. Thank you for interest in the Valve Index. Valve Index VR kits will be available for purchase Monday, March 9th, starting at 10 p.m. Due to high demand, we expect available stock to sell out on Monday. All purchases beyond this initial quantity will be fulfilled in the order in which they are received as supply increases over the coming months. Still not concrete, but people are already itching to get their hands on an Index in case it's their last chance before Alyx launches. People on Reddit are going wild. It's finally happening. The $1,080 I have in my Steam account will all be worth it. And I now have to sell about 1,000 trading cards by Monday. And let's not forget, we're in the endgame now, boys. And lastly, my personal favorite. I just moved a massive group meeting with regional executive back 2 hours so I could be at my desk to place this order. The Index costs 919 British pounds, so let's take 919 British pounds to US dollars, which will go into almost $1,200. Yeah. So the Index costs almost $1,200 American, so these people mean business. Dropping $1,000 with 4 days notice based on an unofficial leak might seem a bit wild, but hey, this is Half-Life, the all-in most expensive video game in history, apparently. Half-Life Alyx comes to Steam on March 23rd, 2020. Obviously, you need an index to play, or else these people wouldn't care so much about a restock. If you're curious about what all the fuss is about, check out some Half-Life Alyx gameplay videos. They have these things also. They're up all over the place. So here's the thing. When do you think Valve is going to be like, well, for those of you who didn't get a VR, we're going to be releasing Half-Life Alyx not in VR? Do you think that they might do that? Eventually?
They're probably going to do it anyways, just because people... Not every gamer... Jesus, you knew how long it took me to get a Switch, alright? That thing's only $400. $1,000, $1,200 American. Alright, so that's like $1,800 Canadian or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Well, no, $1,200. Yeah, no, I was probably right the first time, around $1,500.
$1,600.
Yeah, so there, see, I was close. So, $1,600. That's a lot of money. That's 4 Switches. 4.
Just to be able to play Half-Life.
Just to play one game! Like,
Yep.
Oh, we're going to use it for other games later. Yeah, okay.
Okay, sure.
And what about all of your fans who cannot afford to get this? Then yeah, they're going to go and put it in non-VR.
They have to. They absolutely have to. I mean, well, they don't have to. But I'm saying it would be, like, really weird if they didn't. Because, like you're saying, this is a $1,200 investment. That's like, for some people, that's like a whole month's worth of pay. Just to try to be able to play one freaking game?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, it's insane. But there are people who are talking about it. They're like, oh, I just moved a massive group meeting with regional executive back 2 hours so I could be at my desk to place this order. Really? Like, okay. I mean, geez, that's crazy. But, you know, I think it would make sense, like, to do kind of what they're doing with the Final Fantasy remake sort of thing, where it's like, hey, a year down the line, once all of, like, the 17,000 people who have, like, streamed it and all that crap have all done all that stuff, now it can be like, oh, hey, now that it's a year later, we're going to release Half-Life Alyx not in VR, you know? I think it would just make sense to do that. Like, give it a year, you know. It would be silly otherwise not to do it. So, that's my opinion on Valve. I think some other people should be allowed to play Half-Life Alyx other than the people who have $1,200 of disposable income.
Yeah, I should be able to go to Home Hardware and get whatever Valve I want there without having to pay premium price for Bethesda Valve. Something like that, fucking not doing it.
Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. There's somebody in the room right about now who's going to be really excited about this new thing that I'm going to be talking about. I don't know who it might be. It might be the other person in this room who's not paying attention to me. Niantic has recently announced we're getting a new Community Day. Niantic recently announced a Pokemon Go Abra Community Day, during which players will have the opportunity to catch shiny variants of the Abra family. Fran really likes Abra. I'm just going to put that out.
She likes a lot of Pokemon.
Specifically Rhydon and specifically Abra. If they are to be like number 1 and number 2, yeah, see, they're definitely her number 1 and her number 2. Like, yeah. Anyway, Pokemon Go Abra Community Day. You know, when's the Skarmory Day? You've had both of your top 2 Pokemon in the last month. Where the hell's my Skarmory Day? What the fuck is that?
Nobody likes Skarmory.
Nobody likes you. Anyway, the Pokemon Go Abra Community Day was officially announced via a blog post on the Pokemon website. Catch a lot of Abra during this month's Community Day event. Get an Alakazam that knows an exclusive attack, says the subheader. See, Jeremy likes Skarmory, so screw you. The Abra Community Day is due to take place on Sunday, March 15th. As usual, it will last for 3 hours and will run from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Northern Hemisphere and from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Southern Hemisphere. All info is contained in the Reddit post below. March 15th. March 15th. Somebody, last time I talked about the Ride-On event, got her dates confused and then didn't get to go to it. March 15th.
I think I'm not putting that in my phone in notes.
As noted by Redditor ShadowMoses05 in the comments, traded Abra only costs 25 Abra candy to evolve at the moment. So this is a perfect community day for planning to head out with friends. Meanwhile, Reddit user SML6174 notes that Niantic moved Rhyhorn closer to its community day, which means Abra's flea rate could be temporarily lowered in order to make it easier to catch. If you're after Shiny Abra, you'll have to make sure you're on your A game. Both Shiny Alakazam is easily distinguishable from the regular variant. Both Abra and Kadabra Shiny forms are remarkably similar to their normal ones. So, Alakazam is definitely pink.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the shiny versions are basically, like, light yellow compared to, like, a gold. So, you have to keep an eye out for that. It's also worth noting that evolving a Kadabra into Alakazam during the event or up to 2 hours after will allow your Alakazam to learn an exclusive move, making it a particularly valuable legacy Pokemon. As usual, lures during the Community Day hours will last for a total of 3 whole hours. Catch XP will be tripled for as long as the event is on. There's also one new feature during the Abra Community Day. For $1, you can gain access to a unique special research quest called Investigating Illusions. Those who complete the quest will earn 13,000 Stardust, a Poppin' Rocket Radar, and more. The Pokemon Go Abra Community Day is due to kick off on March 15th.
Oh no, my Abra has sun damage. You left it open the window to get sun damage.
In other Pokemon Go news, fans have recently discovered that Ho-Oh and a range of their other official Pokemon names were censored by Niantic. So, there you go. You're not going to get to talk to Fran on March 15th. Which is the day? Is it Saturday or is it March 15th? So, that is a Sunday. So, yeah. I'm probably going to get roped into doing this too, because, it's Fran's second favorite Pokemon and all that stuff. So, quick... to do a quick overview of the whole Ho-Oh being censored, there are certain word combinations that you can't use when nicknaming your Pokemon. So if you went to give your Ho-Oh a nickname and just use the name Ho-Oh, it would be censored. Because apparently, capital H-O is not allowed. They also, if you went to take Lickitung and rename that, the word lick is banned. Yep.
So if my name was Butter Liquor, I'd just be Butter Censored.
Butter censored. They probably just wanted to avoid people like me and you, Stefan, who would end up renaming Pokemon like that Licky My Dicky. I'm just saying.
You know
so well. Anyway, moving on. Mario Kart Tour is finally getting multiplayer.
What?
Mario Kart Tour, which somehow spent nearly 6 months without multiplayer, will soon be getting it. Next week, on Monday, March 9th, Mario Kart Tour will be getting a real-time multiplayer on Android and iOS. The mode supports 8 players in local or online co-op. You'll be able to create lobbies, use matchmaking to play against others online. If you have localization services turned on for Mario Kart Tour, you'll also be able to challenge nearby players. Free players will have access to standard races whose rules change every day. Gold Pass subscribers, however, will get access to faster gold races. Mario Kart Tour Gold Pass, for reference, is a $5 British pounds per month for subscription. Multiplayer goes live 3 a.m. on Monday. So, those of you who participate in Mario Kart Tour but needed to get in your whole multiplayer grind going on, now you have it. So, anyway, moving on. This was something... Oh, boy. Doom Eternal. Coming out soon. And apparently the game can run really fast. Doom Eternal's id Tech 7 is one of the game's strongest assets. It's well established at this point that id Software's later iterations of its id Tech engine are some of the most optimized found around. Both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal managed to run at a locked 60 FPS while pushing impressive visuals. On PC, things can be cranked up even higher, and id Software is ready for them to be pushed to the extreme. How extreme? According to lead engine programmer Billy Kahn, Doom Eternal can run at 1,000 FPS. 1,000. If there's even a PC powerful enough to do that. On id Tech 6, we maxed out at 250 FPS. This game, if you have the hardware, could hit 1,000 FPS, Kahn told IGN. Broadly, Kahn talked a little bit about some of the upgrades the current version id Tech has over Doom 2016's. Eternal manages to push more particles on screen while maintaining a smooth frame rate. Kahn said that id Tech 7 CPU utilization is much better now, which allows the engine to utilize all CPU cores more efficiently. This extends to mid-gen upgrades like PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, but also helps bring support to PS5 and Xbox Series X, though Kahn wasn't able to share specifics on that front just yet. Doom Eternal, whose Battle Pass is free, launches March 20th on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. 1,000 FPS, Stefan.
So, Scott, I'm just going to give you a heads up, by the way. Normally, like, I can jump 1-2 feet up in the air. But, I mean, if you get me the right shoes, I can definitely do 20-30 feet, no problem. If you can find me the right shoes. Just going to give you a heads up.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
How the fuck do you know that you can do 1,000 FPS if you can max out at 250? What are you talking about? Like, it'd be different if you had the means of actually displaying that, but if you don't, you can't just guesstimate that.
Yeah, I know, right? But here's the thing. 250 FPS is already faster than the human eye can see anyway. So what the hell's the point?
Exactly.
I mean, cool. You have a whole bunch of active particles that's not going to slow your computer down. Neat. But why though? What's the point of pushing it? Like, yes, the point is that they can. Because then they can say things like, "Yo, you guys hear that Doom Eternal can do 1,000 FPS? Yeah. Yo, my computer's so like I have like a $30,000 computer. I'm playing Doom Eternal at like 6,000 FPS. You know, it looks the same as 60 FPS, but I know I'm doing it. Like, what the hell's the point? You know?" Like I'm to understand that the human eye can't see past 60 or whatever it is. Maybe it's higher than that, but you know, what the hell's the point? Thank you, by the way, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Hey, Jeremy appreciates the elite gamer computer voice, and he thinks it's cool because this guy's playing Doom Eternal at 6,000 FPS, but it looks the same as this guy over here who's got this $800 rig who's playing at 120 FPS, and it looks exactly the same. So
it's the perfect voice for a Sega commercial.
But anyway, Doom Eternal can play at 1,000 FPS, but why would you want to?
If you have the computer that can do it.
If you have the availability to do it.
And I can jump 30 feet if you have the sneakers to allow me to do it.
Give me those moon shoes with the rockets on them, and I can jump 30 feet in the air. Hell yeah!
Strap a game genie up my ass.
Not only do I play Doom Eternal at 6,000 FPS, like I'm rocket power with sneakers, I could jump like 70 feet. Are you jealous? I freaking hope you are. Moving on. Anyway, Project A from Riot Games has been revealed as Valorant, a 5v5 shooter. Valorant is Riot Games' first multiplayer shooter. Valorant, the next game from the League of Legends maker Riot Games, has been officially unveiled. Valorant, previously known by its codename Project A, is a 5v5 character-based tactical shooter due out in the summer. Much of what was last week's Valorant leak was accurate, but the game's official website thankfully has a few more details. Riot's opening salvo pitches Valorant as a precise, lethal shooter. God damn, I'm sorry, I got hiccups all of a sudden. Riot's opening salvo pitches Valorant as a precise, lethal shooter with 128 Hz tick rate servers capable of running at up to 144 FPS. Riot wants an attack lag and other problems online shooters face by aiming for 35 milliseconds of ping for players in major cities. It plans to do this through widespread of data centers and a unique netcode with strong anti-cheat tech. Shooting in Valorant is precise, consequential, and highly lethal. We want you to win on your skill and strategy alone, says Riot. Each character in Valorant has access to unique abilities alongside traditional weapons that you could buy a la Counter-Strike. That combo seems bizarre, but it makes a bit more sense when you see it in action. Though specifics weren't revealed, Riot did confirm that Valorant is closed beta. A Valorant closed beta is coming. You can sign up at the link above for a chance to access it early. Geez, I actually sat and I watched the footage in that gameplay preview. Looks pretty goddamn fun. I'm not gonna lie. I imagine like there. Okay, we're gonna show a little bit of it for those of you who are interested in it. It looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It's Counter-Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, they're starting right in the dust. Oh,
right.
Nice. Bomb has been set. Terrorists win.
Just wait, though. Just wait, because it will get better.
Yeah, you gotta cut at the ground or at the wall so that people will get scared. They're all like, "What the fuck?" Someone close to me with their knife. What the?
All right, ready for this shit?
Okay.
Make it rain, boys. Whoop. A wall of heat signature.
Jesus, that's a bit different.
Right? Oh, I got shot in the head. So much different. But yes, I mean, some of these things that they have, like, there's like a dude that has like a wind ability or a, guy with a bow. Hell yeah, shock bow. Nobody plays like Hanzo.
Okay, it's got a bunch of knives.
Look at all those. Yeah, look at that. It's like a knife storm. Fucking awesome. You want to Counter-Strike with a UAV? Fucking got it, bitch. Oh, there's poison on the floor. Can't stand there. This shit's so cool. I love this. Yeah, look at you got blown the fuck up, boy. You want to have your knife storm? Your shit. But yeah, this looks really awesome, and I'm like a super huge fan of this. Defusing the bomb. Defuse. Oh, it's defusing it. Oh, you won. So yeah, so it's kind of like, right, an electric bow. That's what I'm saying. So it's Counter-Strike, kind of that mixes with Overwatch, sort of, where it has like characters all have like special abilities, but it's going to be still on like a sort of Counter-Strike physics where like headshots do what headshots are supposed to do, kill people, that sort of thing. I'm looking forward to this. I actually am very interested in playing this. I did play like a fair share of Counter-Strike back in the day. I was never really good at it because, the people who play Counter-Strike like profession are really good. And I never got to that sort of level, so
got to an okay level with it, but I just never really had many people to play with. And then by the time I started really getting decent at it, I had to just play with like what are they called? The bots with the auto skill leveling kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
They used to be so fun.
So, anyway, so one other little funky thing that I could have talked about in the last, Pokemon Go thing, but I didn't because I was going to talk about it to a little bit more detail. Niantic has cancels Pokemon Go raid day due to data from World War II. The actual World War II. Niantic recently canceled the Pokemon Go raid day in Split, Croatia, possibly because it was relying on data from World War II. A recent Reddit post from Jail Crow drew attention to the mishap. Apparently, Niantic thinks that Split belongs to Italy, like it did in World War II, and we got our raid day canceled without notification. Jokes aside, they seem to be using cells that are too big, since Split is 200 kilometers away from Italy. I guess this was the cell based on reports, where they show you like how actual big that is right there. As you can see, the cell in question encompasses both the east coast of Italy and Split, Croatia's second biggest city. During World War II, Split was annexed by Italy, which is likely why it was excluded from the Croatian raid day. Somewhat similarly, a Redditor from Newfoundland named Banan Apocalypse expressed doubts about being able to avail of North American regional exclusives, namely Tauros.
Where am I from, Scott?
Right? Kind of related.
No, I want you to say the fucking name of it again.
Newfoundland.
Oh, goddamn Newfoundland. What the fuck?
Newfoundland? What?
You almost had Newfoundland.
Newfoundland? Newfoundland. Oh my god. It's Texas! Anyway, kind of related, but I'm from Newfoundland. Newfoundland. And apparently we're not part of North America, the comment reads. There has never been a Tauros seen here, and we don't get any of the regional exclusives. But 95% of Canada isn't part of North America to Niantic. Lol. Echoed Redditor Samurais360. Saskatoon? Here? Saskatoon. There you go. Saskatoon here. But we're too far north for Tauros. At least we got Pachirisu. I think Newfoundland is one of the last parts of the world without a dedicated regional.
Yeah, we're so special.
It's funny because like I wasn't gonna go through this, but I knew you'd be interested in it because it's specifically talking about Newfoundland. Anyway, the issue appears to be stemmed from a blend of outdated mapping and overly large geographic cells. The above cell literally encompasses the entire width of the Adriatic Sea, and then some. From the comments of the post, it seems Split never got its raid day. As far as Niantic's algorithm is concerned, it still belongs to Italy, despite being owned by a variety of different countries since its last Italian occupation, which is now completely Croatian, as it should be. Here's hoping Niantic updates its files on sovereign states from 1943. Hey, Stefan, did you know that you're not part of North America?
I've known that for quite a while.
I mean, you guys really are out in the middle of fucking, like...
We're not that far off the coast of Canada.
You know how long it takes me to get to, like, just mainland Canada? It could take me, like, 3 hours. Do you know how long it would take me to fly to you? 14!
Fly?
It would take, like, 14 hours.
To fly.
Because you have to do all that dumb bullshit where like you fly to this place, you fly to that place, you take the ferry and all that shit. It would take.
What are you do you think we don't have airports here, Scott?
You were talking about being in some sort of like area.
If I had to drive, yes, it would take a long time. But no. Let's see, where are you? Let's go to Philadelphia.
Let's say Philadelphia. Philadelphia is 90 minutes north of me. Or south of me, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Okay, 6 hours.
Still,
he says.
How far? Okay, whatever. But how far is the airport from your place?
From my place? Let's see, about a 30-minute drive?
Sounds like another hour to me, doesn't it?
No. It's only 30
Sounds like
minutes.
half an hour.
Half an hour.
Yeah, but what? You know what I'm saying? I could drive to mainland Canada in 3 hours.
Well,
It takes 6 hours. 6 hours.
Do it up.
You guys are in the middle of the ocean. It's so cold.
So
Anyway. But, yeah. Good on you, Niantic, from using maps that haven't been updated since 1943. Good job.
Hey, no one knows these. Yay! Let's just use them.
So, if you're looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3, Xbox One and PS4 players, think again. Hoping to pick up Baldur's Gate 3 on PS4 or Xbox One? Keep hoping, console kid. Remember when we... Whoa, Jesus. Remember when we had The Witcher 3 on Switch and it was like magic? How the hell did we get such a beautiful, expansive RPG on a handheld? The answer was this. Compromise. The textures are muddy. Geralt's face looked like he's straight out of Final Fantasy VIII Ballroom Party, and it barely runs at 30 FPS. Despite all that, it's still a miracle that it works well on the Switch's small screen. According to Larian, Baldur's Gate 3 would similarly be compromised if it is released on PS4 or Xbox One. You know, those machines that Cyberpunk 2020 is releasing on later this year. I don't think
What
that
dyslexia did you just do?
What did I say?
70-20-20. I'm like, wait, what?
Whoa, whoa.
2077.
Happy dyslexic attack. Whoa. Damn. What did I say? I said 70-22. Is that what I said?
You said something like 70-20-20, and I'm like, what?
Wow. All right. So, little tidbit of information. TK has dyslexia, so
Was
you
good
know,
stuff.
Cyberpunk 2077. The sequel, Cyberpunk 7022. The sequel you never wanted. Anyway, I don't think that current gen consoles would even be able to run it. Executive producer David Walgrave told Eurogamer. There's a lot of technical upgrades and updates that we did to our engine, and I don't know if it would be capable of being able to actually run on those things. Maybe it could run, but then we would have to tone down the textures of this and that, and it wouldn't look as cool anymore. According to Larian, there's still a lot of polishing to go, as well as introducing turn-based combat to Baldur's Gate 3. The sequel modernizes the CRPG by bringing the camera in close during conversations, where those chats are acted out in full performance capture, meaning that in theory, you could be able to intuit a character's intentions from facial tics and the like. We have again hired a couple of guys with a lot of experience, Walgrave explains. The cinematic producer of the cinematic director came from Telltale. This is what they've been doing for the last 5-6 years. They know that they know what they're doing, and they know what to request from the team that hasn't done anything like this before. So, if you see that, and you see that the technical stuff has gone into our engine, I would call it a AAA game. It has a AAA budget, has a AAA team by now, and I think that that's our aspiration. Some of this polish will no doubt happen during Baldur's Gate 3 early access phase on PC, but perhaps it will come to PS5 and Xbox Series X down the line.
I like to look for your aspiration.
So, I mean, this is cool and everything, but I don't know. Cyberpunk 7022 is coming out on it, so what? I mean, that was on purpose.
I was just like, did you know?
It was on purpose. I know what I said this time, but I mean, yeah, they said Cyberpunk's going to be coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. So, like, how graphically intense is this game actually going to be? I mean, jeez.
It could be just things that, small animations requiring like higher sprite consumption,
Right.
I guess, or usage or something, like doing individual torches and stuff like that. So instead of having just some plain ass, like, almost GIF for fire, they use something that's like more particle based, so it's like they can make it more randomized so it looks more like a realistic fire. And then, you know, if you have a hallway with 20 of those all doing their own thing, because in real life, believe it or not, you light 20 torches, they're not all going to burn the same. So that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to make things as realistic as possible while still being a video game and not being VR. So,
especially where they're talking about how they're going to be having zoom-in view on like actual cinematic parts. So, like they said, you're going to be able to like tell if somebody's lying by facial tics or the way that they do things. So maybe that's like in the same realm of like, oh, well, if they zoom it in, if they don't want like the Final Fantasy VIII box faces and try to have facial tics on it. Like, how do you facial tick a box? You know what I'm saying? Like, could you imagine trying to like, hey, these are these characters and they're gonna have a zoom in conversation, but he looks like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Like,
oh, ask some of those indie devs who like work on boxes,
right? But yeah, I mean, hope you got a PC, guys. Just saying. The last article we got here from VG247, Borderlands 3's second campaign DLC is a Lovecraft-influenced romp, guns, love, and tentacles. Yeah. Gearbox has announced the second campaign add-on coming to Borderlands 3 on March 26th. Guns, Love, and Tentacles, The Marriage of Wainwright and Hammerlock, is described as a Lovecraft-influenced add-on for the Borderlands 3 campaign, which will see you team up with old and new pals in a fight against Eldritch Horror. The DLC includes new legendary gear, class mods, and cosmetics for characters and vehicles too. Sir Alistair Hammerlock and Wainwright Jacobs are finally tying the knot, and they want you to come celebrate their upcoming nuptials on the ice planet of Ziggurat.
Say it again.
It's Ziggurat.
That's right.
Zylurgos, I guess? It's Cthulhian, so I'm just saying, really Lovecraftian. It's probably pronounced
Zylurgos.
Yeah. Its frozen wastes have thinned out all but the most vicious wildlife, and the eerie town of Cursehaven, where you've all agreed to meet, is located between the colossal carcass of a fallen vault monster. As if the ice world's biting cold and vicious wildlife weren't unwelcoming enough, a band of creepy occultists who worship the vault monster's carcass are hell-bent on breaking up the betrothed partners. You have to fight back forces of otherworldly evil if Wainwright and Hammerlock are to have their happily ever after. Luckily, the most badass wedding planner in the galaxy has your back. Gage, the fugitive vault hunter, returning fan-favorite character who's inseparable from her robot BFF Deathtrap. Gearbox has also unveiled today free updates coming to Borderlands 3, including Mayhem Mode 2.0, an overhaul of the game's endgame, and a seasonal event and Revenge of the Cartels, both of which are planned to arrive this April. In the meantime, starting March 13th, you'll be able to find Borderlands 3 on Steam, with PC crossplay between Steam and Epic Games Launcher. Borderlands 3 was previously playable exclusively through Epic Games Store. Guns, Love, and Tentacles is included in the Borderlands 3 Season Pass in the Super Deluxe Edition. Vault Monster. V-A-U-L-T. Vault. Monster. Yeah. Jeremy. Vault. You know, those things that you fight before going into any of the vaults? Those big-ass fucking things. You know, one was a tree, one was a monkey running around fucking thing. Those things. Anyway, I think it's this is gonna be kind of cool. I mean, they were kind of, I don't want to, the whole relationship between Wainwright and Jacobs was pretty interesting to start with, because it's like, oh, well, here's just a blatant homosexual relationship with two characters that I really like a lot, so kind of want to go to their wedding. And I get to fight tentacles. So I know where that... Oh, you haven't played Borderlands before. Boy, get on the train and play some Borderlands. What the hell is wrong, boy? Borderlands is pretty good. It's a good game series. I like it a lot. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like out there, which is like, oh, Alright. This is cool. And now they're gonna get married. Okay. I get to shoot things with the tentacles. Yay! Rule 34 is gonna have a fucking field day with this one. I'm just saying. But Gage is coming back, which I know it's going to thrill some of my friends who exclusively played fucking Gage on Borderlands 2. So throwing that out there. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of new stuff coming for Borderlands in the next 2 months. So my brother's gonna be bugging the shit out of me to play it, because you know my brother likes Borderlands a lot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Gene likes it.
Yeah, he likes Borderlands a lot.
Really
Anyway,
does.
moving on to my articles that are coming from Destructoid.com.
Woo!
Rocket League has canceled its World Championship because of the coronavirus. And Psyonix has made the prudent decision to cancel the upcoming Season 9 Rocket League World Championship live event in Dallas, Texas, because of health concerns stemming from the global coronavirus outbreak. The RCLS Season 9 LAN, which was scheduled for the weekend of April 24th. I got a message. Okay, sorry, never mind. Rocket League's regular season play, regional championships, and promotion relegation tournament all take place online, and those will all resume as normal. However, the top teams from each regional tournament face off at a live LAN event every season, where one champion is crowned. Teams from North America, Europe, Oceania, and South America all qualify for the World Championship, and the distance between all of those regions isn't conducive to an online tournament. Psyonix says it's currently evaluating all options to replace World Championship play. The Rocket League esports broadcast team is also affected, as they won't provide analysis and commentary from a studio for the immediate future. Psyonix is keeping all of its talent remote. RCLS broadcast will be done completely online for the rest of the season. Some of the talent presumably travels each week, and this will keep them out of airports and hotels. There's plenty of recent precedent for video game events being disrupted due to coronavirus concerns. Last week, GDC was finally postponed after weeks of speculation that it would be cancelled outright. In esports, the Polish government closed the IEM Katowice Counter-Strike Go tournament to the public. Mere days before it took place, the tournament was played in an empty arena and more than 1 million people watching online. Psyonix will probably be forced to go to a similar route if it doesn't want to delay the end of the Season 9 RLCS much longer than necessary. I mean, yeah, but... Ugh.
Yep.
I mean, I get it, but... Come on, man. This is... It's getting a little ridiculous now. We're like... I mean, I get it. I get it that this is a thing.
I understand it completely. And you know what? That's fine. Just do it for until, you know, things are back to normal again, and it'll all come back to live stuff as well. So, I mean, but at the same time, there's definitely ways around it. Alright, so your US champion is this group, and your Canadian champion is this group, and your European champion is this group, and your Russian champion. You know, and then guess what? Now we're having the World Championships.
Yep.
Where each team from each certain section are gonna all be facing off, and one big thing. You know, that's it.
I mean, it just... I don't know. It seems silly to be canceling all stuff. I mean, I get it. Like, people don't want to get sick. But at the same time, it's such easy precautions to keep yourself away from being sick. That's like, alright, I understand that it's a big problem. But at the same time, there are simple solutions, and solutions that really won't cost your players and your staffing and all that stuff all that much money. And here's the thing.
Pan it up.
Like, if you're saying that it being in... Where did they say it was going to be? Dallas or something like that?
Dallas, Texas, yep. Very childish.
Okay. So there's well, no, I wanted specific ones for North America. I don't need well, fine.
What happens when we get coronavirus?
Jesus.
Ask Fran if she wants some lemons.
You want some lemons?
To go with your coronavirus.
But it's like if
Only in the form of lemonade with some vodka.
see, she's a classy girl. She knows.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, if where this is supposed to be is such a problem, just move it somewhere. Just move it someplace else where you don't feel like you're in a dangerous spot. I mean, how hard is that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's more to it than I understand, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass and have no idea. And I don't know. That's probably it because it's me. Anyway, so we actually have an Epic Game Store thing to report to you this week because somebody actually talked about it. 2 free games for PC on the Epic Game Store from March 5th to March 12th. They are Goner, a stylish platforming shooter, and Off-World Trading Company, an economic strategy game about beating rival CEOs on Mars. Goner is one of those roguelikes I always meant to sink more time into. Never got far along enough in any runs to become irreversibly hooked. That said, it made enough of an impression that it's still on my one-day list. The game is universally beloved to some of its competitors, but it has ardent supporters. I have to give props to any game protagonist that's capable of swapping out their head. Okay. Off-World Trading Company is a strategic game for people who prefer paths to victory that don't involve bloodshed. God damn these hiccups. I'm sorry, guys. In order to win, you will need to make tough choices on what resources to acquire, what goods to build and sell, how to interact with the planet's thriving underworld, and what stocks to acquire and when. I should also add that it was created by Civilization 4's head designer, Soren Johnson. If you'll give either of these games a chance, Off-World's premise is really tempting. I'm particularly excited about next week's free games, and I think many of you feel the same way. From March 12th to March 19th, Epic is giving out a short hike, a cozy game about ascending a mountain, and Anduin 2 Return to Dust, an adventure that's part PS1 era 3D, part GBA style 2D. It's out there. A third bonus game, the IGF-nominated mutant soap opera Mutinize, yeah, will also be free that week. So you got, yeah, but Goner looks pretty neat. I mean, I did give it like a kind of like a quick, just once over look. It looks pretty neat. I mean, the art style is weird, but it looks pretty cool.
Thank you for that.
An Off-World Trading Company. I mean, it's like Mars SimCity, I guess, or something along those lines, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, but you got your 2 free games for Epic this week, and then we have 3 games coming next week, so you have that to look forward to. Something I was especially excited to talk about this week is the Switch eShop is holding a sale for Mega Man games, from the classic to the X series. While traveling through Deku Deals, I had a handful of recent Mega Man games on sale. It looks like Capcom is pushing several deals out on the low. Perhaps most importantly, it's Mega Man 11, which is being sold at retail for $19.99 and is currently at $14.99 in the eShop. The other big games to note, most of the Legacy collections are now only $9.99,
Wow.
including the duos for the Classics and the X series. All of these are worth jumping on immediately at that price, except for the X Legacy collection, which comes from a new... What's that?
The second X Legacy.
The second X Legacy collection, which comes from a few unfortunate entries that help seal the fate of the X franchise. In other Mega Man Switch-related news, Mega Man X Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection is not on sale because it was just recently released. Capcom is keeping these series fresh in everyone's mind and is secretly working on another Mega Man project beyond the upcoming mobile spin-off. So yeah, you have Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 for $10. You have Mega Man X Legacy Collection for $10 a piece. Mega Man 11's down to $15. So you could have basically Mega Man 1 through 10 for $20, 11 for 15, and then the X series for like another $20. So it's like $55 for what you would pay for like a normal retail game for the Switch. Think about it this way. It's like you go out, you get a brand new game for the Switch. Like, let's say, hey, I want to go buy myself some Super Smash Brothers. How much am I going to pay for this? Probably $49.99. All right, that's reasonable. You can have Mega Man 1 through 11 and X 1 through 8. That is 29 Mega Man games for the cost of this one Super Smash Brothers game. In my opinion, I think this is a great deal. I mean, $55, again, just gonna hash this in, the price of like a normal retail Switch game to have basically the entirety of the Blue Bomber series that doesn't go outside of the main franchise. I mean, yup. Seems good to me. Especially with like how difficult it is to get like Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 sometimes. Like getting the first collection I found like on like an actual like hard copy is not that difficult, but like X Legacy Collection 2 become a little bit more difficult. So while they're on sale, I would definitely think about picking up yourself some copies from Mega Man games because they're good. Mega Man's a good game. You know what else is a good game? Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is now available on mobile. One of the greatest video games of all time, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, is now available for purchase on iOS and Android, giving fans the chance to carry Konami's 1997 PlayStation Classic with them wherever they may wander. Directed by Turo Hagihara and Koji Igarashi, Symphony of the Night excels in its design, audio-visual elements, and deep exploratory gameplay. As dramatic hero Alucard, players explore a huge gothic castle, acquiring gear, spells, and acrobatic skills while battling a huge catalog of enemies and grim boss characters, all en route to a final showdown with the Lord of the Night himself, Count Dracula. Symphony of the Night set a new standard for Castlevania on its release, and its influence can be found further in the series, in further series entries such as Dawn of Sorrow and Order of Ecclesia, which as well as Igarashi's own Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Today, Symphony of the Night remains one of the most influential titles in the so-called Metroidvania genre. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is available for iOS via the App Store or Android via Google Play. Priced at around $3. The mobile port is fairly bare bones, but includes a new Continue feature, 6 language options, and supports game controllers.
Damn.
I don't already own it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't already have it. This isn't Symphony of the Night. I can't help myself. It's my second favorite game of all time. I can't help it. I will say, it has like a little achievements things that you can, get extra experience for like if you care about the experience that comes with the Android game stuff. And I will say the one thing that I do like about this is that mentioned Continue feature. It basically lets you stop playing and pick the game up anywhere. So, like, I just wanted to test it. I'm now back where I left the game off. I hit the button, go back. Hit the button, go back. Hit the system button, quit game. turn it all the way off. You probably can't even see any of this, but whatever. Turn the game all the way off. I'm all the way back to Soten. But Konami. Go back to it. Hit the button. Press start. Continue. Back where I left off. That's a pretty cool feature, honestly, for me. Because sometimes, you just need to, when you're playing a mobile game, sometimes like, hey, the phone just turned, or called you with a phone, or you got an important text or whatnot. And sometimes you just need to be able to like, yeah, kill this game, whatever.
Your boss came in.
What's that?
Your boss came in. Right?
So being able to just put the game down and pick it up again exactly where you left off, I think is great. It's a little hard to handle. It's, you're trying to play Symphony of the Night on a phone, so it's not exactly going to be great. They do have, like, little icons that let you be able to execute special moves. Like, if you're playing a Richter mode, being able to do, like, the slide or his, like, cross-slash thing or whatever the hell that's called, or, like, the whatever the hell it's called. But, with ease, because like trying to execute like those really difficult maneuvers on a phone is not exactly easy. So you have those on access, which is nice, So cool little new release of Symphony of the Night, and it's $3. So even if you don't like it, how much have you really lost? $3?
Give me a back.
Maybe you might find yourself liking it. So, you get to play Symphony of the Night. Again. Like, so many times have I played Symphony of the Night. Moving on. Anyway. So, we have talks about a new Viewtiful Joe game. I can credit a lot of games with having major impact on my view of the hobby. Dragon Warrior was the first major game the writer played and felt overwhelmed and had something to work towards. Chrono Trigger opened up how I felt about narratives in the medium. And games like Viewtiful Joe constantly reminded me of how a bit of simple style can go a long way when it comes to crafting pure joy. Viewtiful Joe, a platformer and about a regular guy who becomes a superhero, was released back in 2003 as Clover Studios' first game, what would eventually just become the legendary Clover. It was so popular that it spawned a sequel a year later, as well as 2 spin-offs in 2005. Several years later, director of the original, Hideki Kamiya, and his crew moved away from Capcom and into their current outfit at Platinum Games. The series had remained dormant. Kamiya would like to change that. Speaking to Nintendo enthusiasts at PAX East, Kamiya says that although he has no control over the series anymore, as it is in Capcom's hands, he'd love to see it return, specifically on Switch. Kamiya opines, personally, I really hope that it comes back. I don't want it to be lost in its time, so to speak. I'm requesting it. I would love it if that would happen. He goes on to say he would love to finish the trilogy with Viewtiful Joe 3. You don't hear how about Kamiya has unfinished business with the series that often, so it's a pretty big movement for Viewtiful Joe fans. All with the talk of potential Okami follow-up, maybe the possibility of Platinum and Capcom collaborating is becoming more and more likely. At the very least, Platinum is taking matters into its own hands with its new IP game, Project GG. Yes, please. I don't know if you played any Viewtiful Joe or not, Stefan? No? You should, because it's good. It's really, really, really good. It's really good. It's hard to describe because it's like it has its own, like, it's film noir style, but it's not, because it has like a whole lot of those like filmy type things that happen where like slow down, and it's good, and you should go play Viewtiful Joe, and everybody should go play the Viewtiful Joe series because it's really good. So speaking of Bloodstained, it's been a while since the last Bloodstained update. Development team that was hard at work fixing the Switch's version. There's still more work that needs to be done, and getting the other versions in sync with each other. This week's Kickstarter update addresses both of those notions and more. Firstly, and perhaps most importantly, the update touches on a big change that was originally promised in the Kickstarter campaign, a roguelike game mode. That mode is not currently compatible with the current incarnation of the game and has been canned. Instead, there will be a new randomizer mode that will arrive with the Zangetsu playable character DLC for free. You can randomize things like item spawn methods and enemy drops, with the option to share a level seed with others. Next up, a correction. Boss Revenge mode will not come at the same time as Zangetsu, despite an earlier update stating it would. Instead, it will arrive in the next content update. In better news, all versions should seem to be synced up now and have content parity with version 1.04. Going forward, content drops should be in sync. And that's really it. There's no date for any of this, as developer Artplay and publisher 505 Games has learned the hard way that making any promises is a road to disappointment. They even mentioned that in the latest post that they were going to do less updates about updates for their Kickstarter and more substantial news pieces going forward. The whole project has been a fascinating case study, along with Mighty Number 9, of common crowdfunding missteps. Thankfully, in the end, despite jank, Bloodstained will be remembered more fondly. I don't want to talk bad about Bloodstained. Oh, come on. It's getting silly at this point. I mean, how much did Bloodstained make on its Kickstarter?
Oh, you show me.
Like it was like 6 point something million. Hold on. I might be off, but 5.5 million. I'm sorry, I was a little off, but $5.5 million. All right. Now this was also done, like, how long ago? I mean, we were talking about Bloodstained during the first time that we did this podcast, and we were talking about the Kickstarter then. Mm-hmm. We're now in 2020, and the games and all that stuff was promised back in March of 2017. I mean, even then, it was like, all right, well, I know we're going to have to wait a few years for the game, but that's fine, because, you know, it's going to be an Igavania of epic proportions. And then we ended up getting it back in 2019. All right, a couple years late, but whatever. Okay. So now that we are, I want to say, 7 years into the process now. You know, I want to say, when did... I'm trying to figure out where exactly it started, but there's a lot of fucking updates. I mean, this Kickstarter has more than 100 updates to it. So that's saying something. It's been around for a while now. But this content stuff, and I understand that you don't want to rush things. But here's the thing. Bloodstained's been out for a while now. It's been out for, I want to say, 9 months roughly at this point. I'm going to really quickly start up my Steam because I need to. But this is way overdue. I mean, this was the sort of stuff that was just like, oh, here's the game, and then like a bit in the... They even said that it wasn't going to be that long in the future, that we were going to get, at the very least, the Zangetsu update, which we still haven't gotten. You know, this was released in June of 2019, so it's been about 9 months. But this DLC stuff should have long since been implemented, especially just even as something as minimum as the Zangetsu mode. It's the same thing as like the Richter mode that came along with Symphony of the Night. You just have to change a few things and just make it so that Zangetsu can't do stupid shit that breaks the game. That's really all that is. Like, just...
Good luck.
I don't understand why it has taken them this long to just implement a new character. I mean, I get it. You have like other new things that you want to do with the game. You want to have like this randomizer mode or this roguelite mode or all the other things. All right, fine. That might take a little bit longer. But the simple update to just adding a character, this shouldn't be taking this long. It really shouldn't. And this stuff, and the fact that like we're talking about this and they still don't have a release date for it, why couldn't it possibly take another bunch of months to just implement a character into this game? I don't get it. Maybe there is just something underlying that I don't understand about this that makes me just ignorant to what's going on. But I honestly feel it should not take a year to take a character model and put it into the game. Again, a game that we waited 6 years for. I'm being critical because I like it so much. That's the thing. I want the best for the game, and I feel the longer that they wait on this, the more and more people are going to start forgetting about it. And I don't want people to forget about Bloodstained, because it's a good game. It's really good. So, that's me. So, this is something that I normally don't do with you, Stefan, but I brought this up as the last thing that I wanted to talk about today. And I kind of wanted to, deviate from the norm a little bit. And as of yesterday, March 4th, 2020, the PlayStation 2 turned 20 years old. The PlayStation 2 is 20 years old today. Can you believe it? 2 whole decades since Sony knocked it out of the park with the iconic black box, which came smashing into a new millennium and went on to become the best-selling video game console of all time. And it plays DVDs. And no doubt many of you have a backlog of memories wound up on the PS2. For many video game fans, PS2 was the console that sold them into gaming in the first place, thanks to the massive library of varied and unique titles coming from the whole genres. Whether you like fighters, RPGs, sports games, shooters, third-person adventures, racing sims, brawlers, or atrocious movie adaptations, the PS2 had you covered. Which has me wondering, what was your definitive PS2 release? I'm not asking about the best PS2 game, or the game that most closely associated with the console at the industry at large, but the game that defines the console's everlasting legacy for your personality. Now, I'm not going to go into the rest of the article, because that's a question I actually want to pose. Okay, first of all, you owned a PS2, yes?
I own a couple of them, yes.
Okay. So how about you? The PS2 game that was the definitive PS2 game for you. It's tough, right? Because there was so much.
I would probably say Final Fantasy X.
Really?
Mostly because, in my opinion, it was the last very hyped for Final Fantasy game. Don't get me wrong, fans were still hyped for the other ones after that, but not like Final Fantasy X was when it first came out. Like that thing looked amazing. What they made the PlayStation 2 do to make that game look as good as it did at the time was
on one disc.
Fantastic.
On one disc.
Mm-hmm. So much content.
Ooh.
I like the game. I like the story, so...
It also, just as a little side note, Japan just did or they didn't just do, but they did a poll upon what Japan, or the Japanese public thought was the best Final Fantasy game ever, and Final Fantasy X did come up as number 1, by the way. Surprisingly, over Final Fantasy VII. So that says something. That says something. That Final Fantasy X, with as wildly popular as Final Fantasy VII is actually ranked higher than it. That 10 made that much of a difference in Final Fantasy gaming history that it was just like that change into like what Final Fantasy was going to be in the future. They also did a poll about what Final Fantasy character they liked the most, but I'll say that if you don't know who it is, you don't know Final Fantasy. But because it's Cloud. But anyway, I would have to say if it would come to like a single specific PlayStation game or PS2 game, I should say PS2. There was any specific PS2 game that I think captured more of my time and was more definitive to me than any other game that I ever played on the PS2, I would have to say without a doubt it's Dark Cloud 2. Dark Cloud 2 took up so much of my time, and it was such a good game. And I mean, if you have not played Dark Cloud or Dark Cloud 2, the first Dark Cloud,
I may or may not have a copy of Dark Cloud 2 that I've yet to play.
Yeah. But if you have not played Dark Cloud 2, you are absolutely missing out. It was such a good game. And for me, I think it was like that one game. That one game in itself, outside of like, let's say the Zelda series, Dark Cloud 2 brought me to like that 3D perspective of like action games like that made me want to play more and more and more of those types of games because of how amazingly good Dark Cloud 2 was. And it made me compare every single other game of the genre to it, and nothing came close. Because it was just so good. So good. And, I mean, I'm assuming you've played it.
Nope.
And you know, just as well as I do, how amazingly good that game is.
I said no.
Oh, you said no?
No.
You have?
I have a copy, but I have yet to play it, is what I said like a couple seconds ago.
I'm sorry, I misheard you.
It's okay.
No big surprise there. But you should. You should really play it. One, the story's really good. Two, the town building aspect that they brought into the first game is vastly improved by leaps and bounds. It is so much better than the first Dark Cloud. It's way better. Yes, level 5 had absolutely everything to do with Dark Cloud, by the way. Dark Cloud 2, its weapon leveling system is vastly improved.
Golf!
It's... oh my god!
What, you lose Scott? 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 We can't hear you. I can't hear you. We had him for a second. Scott, that EXE has stopped working. Scott got very excited. He went bet the golf too.
No?
There we go.
There we go. Alright. Accidentally unplugged my mic. My bad.
Too excited by Dark.
My bad. We were talking about Dark Cloud Golf. Oh god, it was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. Everything about Dark Cloud 2 was just so good. Everything. Literally everything. Let me take a look. Let me take a... Oh, I wasn't talking shit about... I would never talk shit about Dark Cloud. I'm just saying, the first game was good. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. The first game was good. It had its quirks, and it also had its specific characters that weren't really good. You know that that's a thing. You know, once you got Ruby, you didn't play with anybody else, because Ruby was that much better than everybody else. Except for Fan, who absolutely had to play with Xiao because she couldn't help herself, because it was a cat girl. She couldn't help herself.
I would
But-
say at the top of a lot of lists for PlayStation 2 is probably San Andreas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a fun game. I like GTA and stuff, but I know people who used to play that every day.
Oh,
and the
God,
same
yeah.
stuff. I'm like, why are you just getting cops and I'll just get spawn in a jet and just 6 stars and just get. I'm like,
I know. It was such a just. I didn't play all that much of GTA, but like for like the little bit that I did, pretty good. For those of you who are interested in getting into Dark Cloud, the first game and the second game you can probably get in box with disc for less than $20. I mean, I'm just looking at Dark Cloud 2. Why did it come up as Pokemon? What the hell? I mean, I know I talk about Pokemon a lot, but Dark Cloud 2. Let's take a look at some of these listings here. $12.50. The original Dark Cloud is buy it now for $7. You know, buy it now for $25. You know, buy it now for $20, or buy it now with $16. This is honestly this is a steal for how good Dark Cloud 2 is. It's an absolute steal. You really, really, really should get your hands on a copy of the game. I don't care what you got to do to play it. Just go play the Dark Cloud series. This would be, I think, in my opinion, if they were going to take any game and re-release it on something like the Switch, just throwing out there, Switch, the Dark Cloud 2, it would be perfect on that console. If they were to just bring any of those games back, take my freaking money. Just absolutely take it. So, that's for me. That's, Dark Cloud, man. I mean, GTA definitely has a whole bunch of games on the PS2. It's still making Grand Theft Auto games now. I mean, I don't know how the last one, but, I can't talk about them much, but, But anyway, that'll do it for SDK's news this week. So, as always at this point, I will turn it over to my co-host, the old world gamer, Stefan.
that's me. And guess what? Stream has been so good the entire time.
I know, right? Everything's great. But,
Next.
I'm gonna take something from what you told me earlier, Stefan. And I remember there used to be something along the lines here. And I stole something from some old people who are wrong. It's called a Segway. You know those things you go? I don't have those anymore. So I went and I stole an old person's Segway just so I could tell you something along the lines of, this is the best Steam. I stole somebody's Segway. They don't need it anymore. But it's a bit best of Steam. I have nothing left. I don't think about this anymore. And Steve was always like, "Oh my God, Scott, really? Segways? Those are for losers." That's exactly what he told me one day on the Discord for OWG. He was just like one little call. Segways are for losers. Click. You know what? Those people from Florida don't need them either. I'm done.
I'm trying to grab the right window, but it's just not letting me grab it for some fucking reason.
Well, you gotta close the blinds first. You want to grab the window properly.
Here it is. Yeah.
I'll be here all week, folks. Or not.
There you go.
There we go.
Alright, first game is One Gun Guy. It's coming out in early 2020. One Gun Guy is a straightforward, no-nonsense action platformer. One giant level littered with player upgrades, hazards to tackle, enemies to destroy, a boss to kill, and multiple difficulty settings. Okay, we're gonna pause that music though. Alright, let's give this a watch real quick.
Alright. One chance to save the world. It's Sanic. Alright.
Jesus. Ah! Run!
He's got big balls.
One continuous level. Oh, there we go.
Alright.
Yeah, see, that doesn't look too bad.
I can dig that. I like it.
Add it to the wish list. There is.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no price for it yet, obviously. It hasn't been released, but it looks pretty good. I like the pixeliness.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Man.
This one's surprising. I think we might have mentioned this or talked about it or something at one point, but Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl.
I'm going to say with 100% certainty we have not talked about this.
Okay. This is coming out in spring 2020. Play as Jay and Silent Bob in a retro 8-bit side-scrolling brawler solo or with a friend. Pummel enemies with their hard-hitting combos, dash attacks, and elbow drops, as well as a random assortment of weapons as you reach battle your way out of... What?
As you reach battle.
Alright, as you reach battle your way out of the mall and back to the quick stop. It's a beat 'em up. It's coming out spring 2020. Let's watch the video. Oh, look at him, Gene. Oh, Nintendo. Alright. I mean, if there's an NES release, that's cool. I hope there is, because that would make it even better.
Track to action.
What is this, like River City Ransom or something?
Kind of looks like that, yeah. Be a lot easier to play if you didn't have that fan in your face.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, gee. But get the fan out of your face, jeez.
My eyes are so dry.
I don't understand. Party like it's 1995.
Done.
Well, yeah. See, this is what happens, kid.
Oh!
It's got an NES. Oh, it's got what?
Oh,
We both saw the
actual
same thing. We
Kickstarter.
both had the same reaction.
Or some kind of crowdfunding. Could have been on Indiegogo.
We both saw the same thing and had the same reaction. Oh, NES release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looked pretty neat.
That did not look too bad at all.
No.
I'm going to add that to my wish list as well, because that
Uh-huh.
was very River City Ransom.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next up is a game for Scott. It's called ExtraGalactica.
Extra
It just came
Whoops. Galactica. All right.
out. A college football captain's fight to defend his rival's home world from the rogue villain in his professor's favorite arcade game. Slow time using Retro Dash as you pilot Super G Machine through waves of scaling enemies, defeat huge bosses, and explore Celestro with Captain Flurp and his copycat Nova.
I mean, you had me at Captain Flurp.
Came out on the 28th of February. Indie action adventure early access arcade bullet hell. Let us watch that trailer, Scott. Whoa. I heard your thing for you. Oh. My internet is going faster than it will download from... Okay, I gotta pause this apparently. Jesus. Hello? Okay, we'll just leave it small screen. No, never mind. No, we just little bits at a time, apparently. Yeah, I don't, is it... What, can you watch it?
Uh-huh.
Why is it being weird for me? Let me just refresh and see.
Steam.
It's only halfway. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I mean,
You like that slow down feature?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, bullet hells are already like hectic enough, and this one seems to have like one of those like, oh, these patterns are too hard to finish. So it's like, man, I wish you could slow this down. Holy shit! Here comes this game that lets me do exactly that.
Yeah. There we go. We finally got to watch it. Yeah. So yeah, no, it looks pretty cool. Again, I'm not gonna favorite it because, well, or add to my wish list because I suck at bullet hells.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about it. I'm gonna put this on my wish list because it's a bullet hell, and I like that sort of stuff. Hell yes.
All right, here's a game that I can't believe we missed it. It's called Slipstream. Arcade-style racing game inspired by the spirit of the early 90s with drifting mechanics and exotic tracks. Alright, racing indie retro arcade pixel graphics. This is going to be alright. Let's watch that trailer. This looks amazing, by the way. It's like 3D pixel graphics. It's crazy.
Ooh.
Right?
This gives me some Outrun vibes.
Yeah, right.
Which is a good thing.
Drifting is crazy. Oh.
Oh!
Just like bosses? Looks like some of them aren't even races, you're just driving.
This gives me, like... This feels like Outrun 2006, which was also quite good. And it's kind of like along the same line as this, as their rival sometimes. But I liked Outrun 2006 a lot. And this definitely reminds me of it, which is a good thing. Yeah. Because, one, it's Outrun. And Outrun was one of those like arcade games where it's like, you see it and you have a really hard time not playing it.
Yeah, this looks fantastic. Very bright.
Yes, it does. It looks real good.
Threw it on my wish list. It's currently sitting at $11.49. That sounds about $9.99 American.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would suggest that this looks so good.
Yes, it does. Looks very good.
Alright, only 2 more games left. Our next one is, I think, another one that Scott's going to like. It's called ZeroRanger. I don't know how this game is relevant to me. It's similar to games that I've played called Moonlighter and Hollow Knight, even though it's a shoot-'em-up bullet hell.
Shoot-'em-up bullet hell.
This is a story of a fighter who wanted to become the ZeroRanger, I guess. Let's watch the trailer. Ooh, fancy. What is this, Tandy?
The sun disintegrated the masses. They were left standing on giant skulls. We have nothing left.
You know something we haven't checked on the wall? The shmup by Elker.
He has not had any process. He had to take a break.
Okay.
I'm actually part of his Facebook page, and he just recently had to take a break because one, he had stuff to take care of, and two, he actually just had a fight with somebody who basically plagiarized his opening screen.
Wow.
This looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I figured you would.
Looks pretty good.
So there you go, Scott. This is already out. It's $13.49. which is like what, $10.99?
$11.99.
$11.99. Okay. All right, and our last game from the Best of Steam is a new game that just came out on the 27th of February. It's called Arrest of a Stone Buddha. And the description says, Hitman is searching for an answer in France 70s. Anyways, action indie RPG, violent retro drama.
Okay.
Let's give it a watch.
Rest of a Stone Buddha.
Whoa!
I remember being back in France in the 70s. It was a very violent time. I went like Irish all of a sudden. What the fuck was that?
I know, I was wondering.
Back in the 70s, there were people in the streets at all times. Damn it. This is what happens. Man, I'm not going to try anymore.
So yeah, that looks pretty crazy. Really love the art style.
Yeah, right?
It looked like it could be fun gunplay as well, so...
Yeah.
Alright, so that's the end of our Best of Steam this week.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of good games there.
Yes.
And we're going to go into our news from, of course, starting with Indie Retro News.
Yeah.
And I've actually taken the 5 different news segments I'm going to use this week. The first one is one we've talked about before, Verge World Icarus Rising, an unusual work-in-progress Amiga game that has new footage. So, we were watching this before, and I think it looked very...
It looked a little weird.
Like it was almost zoomed in too much, very pixelated and
Yes.
stuff, so I'm thinking this is updated. Oh. Okay, it's a little bit better. It still needs to be updated a bit more, I think. But I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to do an entire 3D landmass with like an 8-bit system. It's pretty crazy when you think about it.
I mean, for what they're trying to do, I mean, it still looks good.
Yeah. And so you're probably traversing a planet or planets. Hope you had your seatbelts fastened. Jesus. Trying to get from different destinations, so you have to like learn to train, I guess.
Not too shabby looking now.
Yeah, it's... Oh! We're dead. The vault won't have any... Oh, well, I want to read that. No, it looks pretty good. I think they can still improve it a little bit, but, I mean, I'm not sure how hard it's going to be to do that.
Yeah.
Added a ship model. Okay. So I just wanted to show that off real quick. So it looks pretty good. It blows my mind that they're trying to do like a, like I said, like,
I know.
like a 3D world using just like 8-bit generation. Oh, so yeah. Anyways, next up, Ziggurat Interactive plans to remaster classic games such as Forbidden Forest from 1983. So if you're looking to play some remastered classics in the near future, then you might be interested in this piece of news, as thanks to a heads up from Blues News, we found that publisher Ziggurat Interactive, having acquired several other publishers' back catalogs to gather portfolio of over 140 titles, dating back as far as the 1980s. We'll be remastering, reworking, and restoring classic system and PC games from the past for modern systems. As in the words of the publisher, everyone at Ziggurat shares a passion for classic and modern games, and we've turned that passion into a game company that will be unlike any other. Furthermore, they also go on to say, for each classic game we work with, we're doing more than just reworking it. We're improving upon it in ways that are respectful to the original, while preserving what the fans loved about it, and also boosting the awesome of it for modern players. For the first 3 games to get the remaster, although no further details such as screenshots or videos have yet to be shown, include the Deadly Dozen. First released in 2001, Deadly Dozen is a World War II tactical squad-based shooter developed by Enfusion Interactive. Infiltrate German-occupied territory with your squad of 12 military misfits. Destroy, steal, and kidnap your way out. Battle your way through a campaign spanning 6 war-torn countries. Each of your 12 death-dealing squad mates specialize in a different skill set, such as a sniper, demolitions, and more, requiring players to use teamwork if they want to survive. Oh. Nice. The next one is Super Huey. Classic battlefield helicopter combat simulation. Super Huey returns to the skies. This 1985 retro mega hit developed by Cosme features 4 immersive modes: flight training, rescue missions, exploration, and combat. Players must use their multitasking skills to defend brothers in arms or gather critical information about the terrain, all while keeping that bird in the air.
That bird.
That bird. And the last game that they have slated from the first 3 is Forbidden Forest. A fantasy action game. Forbidden Forest is back, challenging archers to cleanse the woods of evil. Armed with only 4 arrows per level, players must eliminate monsters that include bees, giant spiders, mutated frogs, snakes, wizards, and dragons. 4 levels of difficulty: Innocent, Trooper, Daredevil, and Crazy are sure to keep brave archers on their toes in this updated version of a 1983 Cosmic classic that used a Demogorgon before it was cool.
Alright.
That's pretty cool. 140 titles, though? That's a nice pickup. And it doesn't look like they're all, like, old games. Like, yeah, they're from the 80s, some of them, but, like, 2001, that's still only 19 years old. I know that's still long and old. But you know what I'm saying.
Not as old as it could be.
Yeah. Well, when you consider 1983, that's my age.
Yeah.
So. Skelly, a short PC demo as a Dizzy game inspiration. So if you're a fan of the Dizzy games but are Oliver Twins or want a fun little adventure to play, then come and check out. Oh my God. Cheshire Gaming's retro fan game called Skelly. The first version of a game developed as a PC demo for the OGA Winter Game Jam 2020. This game listed via the Game Jolt website puts you in control of Skelly, a small necromancer novice, frustrated with the bullying and mockery of the infamous Grim Reaper and his minions. Good luck, dude. Grim Reaper, Jesus. According to the write-up on the game page, Skelly is a short demo created for OGA Winter Game Jam 2020. The story is inspired by Danimal, with gameplay mechanics of a puzzle platformer that resembled Dizzy games. Includes a ZX Spectrum aesthetic to give it a real retro feel, and features music and sound effects from Shiru 8-bit. Please note, as it's still a demo, you may come across some bugs, and if that happens, pressing R gives you a chance to respawn. Alright. I wish there was more than just pictures.
I know, right?
But
actually looks pretty cool.
Colors. Yeah, it looks really nice. Oh! Victory Heat Rally, unofficial spiritual successor to Power Drift, gets an early alpha.
Really?
Yeah, boy. So, I'll say it now. This is this in-development game from Sandwich Kernel and Sky Devil Palm looks super cool. As if you love playing the Sega classic Power Drift from 1988, then you'll be pleased to know that this game looks to be an unofficial spiritual successor. Though the game is still being created using GameMaker, the person behind the game has announced you can now download an early playable version before a Kickstarter is launched down the line. Oh, they're going to do a Kickstarter for it. Very nice. Smart, too. For the animated GIF above, Victory Heat Rally looks to feature great animation, fast-paced gameplay, and graphics, giving the impression of a game released all those years ago. As the description says, drift your way to the finish line in this fast-paced arcade-style racer with super scalar aesthetics. Jesus, that was so hard to say. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty nice,
so
man. I'm
nice,
telling you.
man.
It
Yeah.
definitely has that power drift feel. Yeah, it does. Sure does.
Oh.
Looks good, though. Looks good.
The last thing we have here from Indie Retro News, Toxic 2020 Edition, a newish game released by the New Dimension for the C64.
Maybe the timing isn't all that great.
What? What was that?
Toxic Coronavirus Edition.
Oh, Jesus. This game you play as Debbie Lambert and must have around. And must move around the crime scene, spraying decontamination fluid over toxic waste that appears in different places before it overwhelms you and becomes too dangerous to survive. Be warned, however, not only are you pushed for time, but your anti-toxic spray will only last for a certain amount of time and will need to be refilled. Jesus.
Okay. Bringing the new dimension to your C64. The new dimension.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a Sega Genesis game. Oh my god, it sounds so much like a Sega Genesis game. Bow, bow. Oh god.
You're not wrong.
Okay, look at Debbie go. Debbie, Debbie, Deb! Oh, get it. Bitch. There you go. Oh, tell she when it's alright. Yeah, we're good. Oh god.
Is there like an end goal here?
I guess it just keeps getting harder or something. Alright, anyways. That was strange. I guess, again, once it gets up to it, like, at that point, like, I would probably feel like, alright, let's just skip level 1 and start off at level 2. Because it seemed like it was, like, I don't know, kind of slow? I don't know, maybe it was just me.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Anyways, we're going to be moving towards our one news segment article we have from IndieGameWebsite.com.
Mm-hmm.
Hellpoint is a sci-fi Souls-like in space. We're going to watch. Trailers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is this new Star Wars? Whoa. I see what you're saying. Whoa.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
yeah, this could be cool. Like if they actually follow the actual Souls kind of thing.
Whoa.
This could be really cool.
Take my titty laser.
Alright. What?
Okay.
Wow, this looks very cool. What?
Alright, I can dig it.
Yeah, it looks pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, it does.
It's very Dark Souls-like. Well, let me get into the what to play next videos there. Yeah, no, that was very nice for like an announced trailer. So it's announced to come out when. Doesn't say. Then why is it called a date announced trailer? Did it actually say in the trailer itself? Oh, it totally did. Yeah, 4/16/20. Wow, so April 16th. That looked pretty good. I can see Souls players liking that. I can see a lot of sci-fi players liking that as well.
Yeah.
Definitely
had a.
I'm sorry?
That. It definitely had a lot of that like soul sci-fi feel to it. That's for damn sure.
And it looked good, like really good.
Oh yeah.
The fucking mouth monster just fucking bites his body in half. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
So we're going back to Destructoid
Right.
for 3 more. We're starting off with a Picross puzzler, Murder by Numbers, out now on Nintendo Switch. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had a look at this already. I wasn't 100% sure.
Sure.
And of course, the trailer is literally just, here's who everybody is. I'm just like, oh, that's helpful. Well, if you like Picross games, there's one releasing for, there's one already released for the Nintendo Switch right now, but, oh, no, that's a lie. It comes out tomorrow. Or no, it comes out today on Switch and launches tomorrow on Steam. Jesus Christ. I should probably read next time.
It's all good.
It's all good. And something more important, especially to Mr. Scott. Blasphemous got a major patch on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Scott at all. Never mind.
I put it on PC.
So, apparently some of the patch fixes include collision detection during jumps, tweak to improve jump feeling. Jumping in midair is now possible for a few frames after running off of a platform. Grab cancel action added. Dependent one is now able to jump off of walls, ledges, ladders by pressing the grab cancel action. The penitent one can still hold down, or still can hold down to fall while hanging from a ledge, but the holding time has been adjusted. Penitent one will only climb a ledge if the player presses up to prevent accidental climbing. Damage while wall climbing now doesn't prevent further wall climbing. That was a thing. Before it was only available after touching the ground again. Oh.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. That means you only get one wall jump or something? What the fuck?
It would probably be like if you had your sword, you got hit, plant the sword. That's what I'm assuming.
I suppose, yeah. Alright, so they also done some fine-tuning as well. Stuff that you're probably not going to even like realize. It'll just feel better to play. A lot of my news this week is very, how can I say it? Short?
Oh, good.
Oh, I know. Sometimes having a short podcast is alright. I don't think we've ever had one below 2 hours. And it's already up to 1 hour and 50, so we're good. Kemono Heroes for Nintendo Switch. Looks good. Looks like good old-fashioned furry fun. Alright, so Switch owners looking for old-school dose of platforming action might want to take a look at Mad Gear. Oh, I knew. Okay.
From Mad Cat Studios, isn't it?
No, this is from Mad Gear Games. Kemono Heroes, which has just launched on Nintendo eShop courtesy of publisher NIS. This is the same group that made A Whole New World.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that game quite a bit, so I think you guys are going to like this. We're going to watch the trailer, and anyone who's listening, go watch the trailer. You're going to be quite you're going to enjoy it. Force is turned to stone. Oh, and the pixel graphics in this make me want to touch myself.
Ninjas to the rescue.
4 different characters, all drawn and stuff.
Oh. Fudemaru. Transform into what? Miyuki. Wall climb.
Whoa.
Hanako.
Oh, she has a float ability.
Right.
A
She
lot
flying
of
squirrel. You. Rope climb.
Yeah, I remember they mentioned this like a long time ago. This is a new game. So they've been working on this for a while. Looks like it's paying off though. Looks really nice. What the fuck?
4 players? Oh.
Oh god. For a second I thought they were doing a speedrunner thing. I was like, oh my god, no. We'll all end up buying it just for that reason alone.
I know, right?
Have you ever finished the main game? No. Who's got time for that?
We finished the first stage like 700 times. But, you know, and we're trying to get it down to 34 seconds. We have a 35.14. We're gonna have to shave off 0.4 seconds somehow.
Apparently, it will be only $15 on Steam
That's not bad.
and Switch. It's pretty good, and it looked like it was such a good time.
Yeah, it does. Down for that.
Oh. Alright, this is one I had to mention because I've played a game called Princess Maker 2, I think it was called. This is called Ciel Fledge, Test Paternal Instincts in a Dangerous World. Alright, so Ciel Fledge is a daughter-raising simulator. Scott's like, I'm already doing it. I'm not playing this game.
It's like I've been playing this game for 15 years. What here?
Well, now you can prepare for what's coming after 15. So,
oh, lucky me. I get to. I'll play this first and then play this.
It's kind of interesting though. You'll have to make just a decision. Let's see if I can English. I don't know. I'm after drinking like 2 glasses of fucking 1 glass of water, 1 glass of mango juice, and I'm still fucking thirsty. Alright, so you have to make tough decisions on your own to figure out what is best for a young developing girl in a world with a bleak future. Jesus. If you ever wanted to dip your toes in the water of parenthood, here's your trial. you'll be overseeing CL, your daughter, and her development through life. You'll set her schedule as well as encourage hobbies and healthy habits. That is, if she feels like following your every word. CL will have needs and stats that you need to keep a sharp eye on. If she's too stressed, she may skip school, and then it falls to you to handle it with either a firm or gentle hand. How you react to these daily struggles will determine CL's growth. Depending on how you react, she may gain permanent traits that will affect her in tests of everyday life and battle. Welcome back. Your day doesn't just start and end with a schedule. You'll be following CL through the day as a silent helper as she tackles tests in school or sports competitions. Take on rapid-fire puzzles to ensure a smooth day through each encounter. What's school with their classmates? Navigating social life is another aspect to growing up. You'll be able to see this firsthand as CL builds relationships with other characters as she continues to grow. They will be extremely useful if you're feeling adventurous and want to explore the surface of Earth to scavenge for helpful items. Really? How big is this fucking game?
Okay.
So, on top of all that, you'll have to keep in mind there is an impending threat that could be extremely fatal. This is a world that is in constant fear of destruction, and perhaps CL is the key to finding a way to free that world from certain doom. Ooh, we have a trailer of sorts.
Okay.
Don't make her feel comfortable. Just carry her with her that one arm on the one side of you, just like cramped down. She wakes up like can't lift it. Joke around with her and be like, it's gonna have to be amputated. Not gonna lie, I might have drifted there for a second. It's that quiet Animal Crossing type music that got me there. So I'm not gonna lie, it looks like something I would probably enjoy playing again just because it's stupid.
I would really enjoy playing this. Why is that? It's stupid.
Well, I mean, there's no actual point in me playing this whatsoever other than to just waste time. And I don't know, I played the Princess Maker. You're supposed to, like, make her grow up into a more refined lady, and then you're supposed to, like, meet a boy again at another certain point, like, X amount of years later, to, like, I guess, court with him and eventually become a princess kind of thing. And so with this, it seems like it's a very similar thing. I just don't know what the end goal is.
So for those of you who give me shit about Toki Literature Club here, throwing that out there.
Yeah, but I don't have a keychain with that stuff, or or anything else for that matter, Scott. So shut it. Oh, actually, here's something else that Scott might be interested in.
Okay.
It's also free to play right now. At least this part is. Nocturne Prelude. Battles with rhythm in a digital afterlife.
Okay.
Nocturne Prelude challenges you to keep up with your beat in fast-paced, rhythm-driven combat that will have your fingers switching. The world has ended, the humans have lost and have faced extinction, so how are you here? Well, the afterlife is digital. San Junipero? I don't know. And God damn it. So how are you here? Well, the afterlife is digital now, and you can enjoy eternity, or at least you probably could have at one point. Sentient AI has taken over this world where your consciousness has been uploaded. So you're here whether you like it or not. This digital eternity, is riddled with corruption that continues to plague the world and deadlier beasts that threaten your existence too.
Okay.
We're gonna go and watch it because I know Scott just wants to see. Show me this rhythm beat stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to decide whether or not I like the animation style or not. Some of the pixel art is nice. Oh, here we go, yeah. Oh, whoa. So it's rhythm combat? Have you ever played anything like this?
Yeah, DJ Maxx is basically this.
Okay. Because it's kind of cool because you have your rhythm stuff to it, and then you also have like your, RPG kind of thing for it as well. Download for free. So, I mean, hey, if you like that kind of thing, dude, it's free on Steam. I know that's your favorite price, so.
Oh, shit. It totally is free.
Alright, so we're going into our Kickstarters. I actually have 3 to look at this week.
Yeah.
Alright, our first one here, if it loads. There we go. Nekojishi, Lin and Partners, an adventure torn between Taiwanese folklore, animal spirit guides, and property development. Coming to Nintendo Switch, PC, and Mac. They're looking for 67,661. They just reached their goal as just updated.
Well, if you guys wanted something just to watch you go right over your thing, we just captured it on the podcast right here.
So there you go.
Just hit their goal right now.
Congrats, Studio Klondike, on reaching your goal. Yeah, they have 25 days to go. They already had 623 backers. I think they were getting it anyways. Let's watch this trailer. Let's turn it down.
It's an unbelievable story. For real. No one will believe me. Well, it all started back in college, and a day came along that changed my fate forever.
Oh.
Unfortunately, spiritual fame and recognition doesn't pay the bills. I was out of college and broke.
Whoa.
Shu-Chi's plan was to start up a new business in the field of architecture and design. We would specialize in revitalizing haunted buildings and solving the problems of spirits dwelling within them. Really, the only problem was, I have no idea about architecture. But that's how my life was turned on its head once again, as I stumbled into a brand new world of gods, spirits, and woe-begone property owners. And that's where our next story begins. In a life I never expected to find myself.
The music is way too loud in this trailer compared to Buddy's voice.
In the thick of it, with those I love. And in case I fall, I know they'll have my back.
So strange. Are they trying to do like an Animal Crossing or something? Wait, what? Now you're fighting?
Because throughout struggles, it's bonds that tie us together. It keep us marching forward. Reaching out, eyes focused towards the future in front of us.
That's kind of different.
Yeah, to say that I would not be interested in this would be a lie. This is actually kind of unique. That's all I can really say. It's
I think it's going to do well on the Switch.
Yeah. And they we watched them hit their goal, so, I guess we'll see it sometime in 2021.
$25 for PC and Mac version.
It's not terrible.
$30 for, $29 Canadian for Switch version as a redeemable code.
Not bad. I like it.
Yeah, no, it looked really... Like, there was a fighting thing there that they had there, and, like, it's very Animal Crossing, but instead of focusing only on, like, or mostly on, like, an island or an area that's kind of like a village, it's more like you're mostly in a city. So that's kind of different.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Real-time debate combat? What the
I'm sure it's... I mean, it looked like there were, like, cards and stuff like that you could use to, like...
But I'm wondering how extensive that is, because when you look at the other cards, they all look like they said the same thing, so...
Might have just been, like, a whole, like, just a demo thing where everything's the same. Never lose or whatever,
All right,
Definitely a cool idea. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, that looks really awesome.
And the character designs look pretty cool. Like, like even like the furry characters or whatnot or whatever. I mean, some people might not like that. I like that. Well,
again, that's what Animal Crossing is like, right? So,
right. Yeah. So there you go. I think those character designs look pretty cool. At least in my opinion, So.
All right, we're going to our next Kickstarter. Which is also very, very, very much crowdfunded. It's called Cyber Knights, a cyberpunk RPG. It's a tactical RPG that plunges you and your team of hackers, mercs, and thieves in the neon-soaked future of 2231. They were looking for $66,988. They're at $302,573.
Yeah, that was like... Right then and there, that was like a $3,000 Canadian donation that just happened right on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
They only have 14 minutes to go.
Well, you got there, guys. Don't worry about that. God dang, Grandma.
Let's have a look. Oh, it's almost like XCOM, I guess?
I was just gonna...
Holy crap.
Wait a minute. Did we look at this already?
I'm Corey Tracy.
Possibly.
And I'm Andrew Tracy.
I remember saying something about this last
week. We are the founders of Tracy Brothers Games. We are returning to Kickstarter for our third project. Same game. Cyber Knights Flat.
We might have like covered it in like an article or something, and now we're like hitting the
Oh, okay, could be, yeah. I would be surprised. It looks really good. And this is like a 4-minute thing. I don't know how much.
Yeah, it looks very XCOM-like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about it last week, but like this is like the actual Kickstarter for it.
Indeed. Well, let's have a look here. Digital edition. Pre-purchase a Steam key at discount. Help us create Cyber Knights Flashpoint. So discount is $21. Wait, what? Maybe it's just $21.
That's not terrible. Huh.
Wow.
That's not bad at all.
No, not at all, dude. $21 is really not bad, especially if you're into these type of like tactical.
It looks like it says US $15 for actual copy of the game.
Yeah.
That's That's not bad at all.
For a brand new game. It looks good.
Especially something that's getting as like heavily crowdfunded as this, like 300,000 Canadian.
All right, hold on. 300 to 573.
I'm gonna say it's probably along the line.
225.
Yeah.
All right, so 225.
Not bad though.
What? Wow, they unlocked so much stuff. So they got funded on the level. Every backer receives wallpaper pack, new streets outfit. Every backer receives another wallpaper pack. Plus, we created a shared illustrated lore PDF and a digital reward for that 60,000. A new scout drone, Valkyrie Zero narrative. If we hit this, we will add 20 hours of extra storyline stemming from the Snake Island incident in 2218, which resulted in the systematic destruction and dismantling of the Night Horizon Megacore. A new dog breed, a new battle drone, a new military outfit. Animation expansion. If we hit this, we will double down on animations, which will allow for more gameplay options such as dragging bodies and petting your dog. Skyrise environment. If we hit this, we will add a new 4th mission environment, props, and building kit. This will introduce a new metric ton of levels, challenges, and objectives for the game. Skyrise soundtrack, new support drone, new core outfit, safe house soundtrack, Matrix Mark II. If we hit this, we will double hacking by expanding the turn-based Matrix host that you infiltrate to control map features like doors during missions. This stretch goal also allows your hacker to enter cyberspace from the safe house to hack for pre-mission advantages like a stolen passcode or a forged maintenance pass. And it just got 225, which is Assassin Job and Cybercat. If we hit this, we will add the Assassin Stealth Job to the game, along with a completely new cybernetically enhanced animal companion, the Cybercat. Wow.
Nice. Neat.
That's a lot of, that's most of their, goals met.
I know, right?
Wow.
Damn. Looks pretty cool, man.
What was this? This was called Cyber Knights, a cyberpunk RPG on Kickstarter.
That was, we did go over it last week. It was it's tactical RPG, kind of looks like XCOM. I would love to. I would like to say that I'd have more to say about it, but tactical RPGs definitely aren't my thing. But just by how it looks, though, it does look like it would perform really, really good. It seemed to go really fast, and there were special abilities and stuff like that. The characters look pretty cool, so I'll give it as much praise as I possibly can. Knowing absolutely nothing about
it's
the
not a game that either one of us would play, but I know that it has merit enough if it's at 5 times the amount of what they're looking for, 4 times the amount, almost 5 times.
Yeah.
So
it obviously is going to have some.
Exactly. So. Now the last one that we have here, and the one I wanted to look at the most. Vibrant Venture, a pixel art 2D adventure platformer.
Okay.
With puzzle elements and a level creator, features 4 characters with abilities you can combine for fluid movement. They're looking for $13,399. They are currently sitting at $14,908, with 27 days to go. They're already funded. Can I play, please? Let's refresh and try that again. Here we go. Kind of gave me that Starbound feel when I first started watching.
Yeah.
Then I seen all this, and I was like, oh, nope, it's a little bit different. Yeah, it's pretty cool too. Love the design. Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah. So that looks pretty freaking good too. For $14 Canadian, that's all they want for a copy of this game.
Really?
Yep.
So what are they going to want here? $11 American game. $11.
That looks so good.
Wow. That's pretty good.
And I love how their overworld map thing here. As you can see, it almost looks like Yoshi's Island 2.
Right?
Or Super Mario World 2? Yoshi's Island?
Super Mario World 2, which is Yoshi's Island.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this looks quite nice. Everything about, like I said, when I first seen it, I was like, oh, this looks like Starbound. Like, if I wanted to play this, I'll just play Starbound. And then, like, everything else started happening. I was like, wait, what? What? It was just so good. Oh, God.
It does look pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie.
No. It's pretty nice, yeah.
27 days to go. Looks like the game will come out December
2021. Jesus.
Not too long.
I'm sure we'll cover it again by mistake, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But 4 different characters is also a cool thing. I like how you could, like, in order to, like, progress, you have to switch between them and stuff. Like, especially with, like, mid-jumping. Oh, switch to this one, use her power. Okay, no, now back to him, use his power. It's like, holy shit.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, that's what they need next. You guys need to put out a physical release. That's what you need to have as one of your goals, a physical release. I don't care, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, say, find out and just do it. Love you. Alright, and that's it. We're done. We're actually done somewhat early this week. Holy crap. Which is not bad because I'm not going to lie, I am dropping tired. But it was a good podcast. We got to see some good games again, which is always fun. Scott brought us some fucking delicious news like he always does.
Mm-hmm. I would have to say, if we're going to recommend any of games for the I would have to go with Slipstream. Slipstream looked really, really, really good. And, you know, for $10,
yeah, it's a steal.
Reminds me a lot of, like, you know, Outrun 2006, so gotta go with it.
And I like how there's, like, races and there's just, like, driving and like, I don't know, it seemed kind of, like, RPG-ish. Right. Which Outrun didn't really have that kind of thing, so it's like, oh, okay.
Those look pretty cool, so definitely would be my suggestion for the week. So, as always, SDK will for thanks to the 2 websites of which I have given you articles from, which is VG247 and Destructoid.com.
And I'll be thanking Indie Retro News, Destructoid.com, Indie Games website, and Indie Games Plus, as well as Kickstarter, for allowing so many awesome developers to be able to have a place to get their games funded so we can play them and have good things to talk about. So.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see.
One other thing to mention, folks. This Sunday is the Indie Source.
Indeed, and I'll actually be covering a game this time. Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's a good one.
I think we have, what do we have? Outbuddies, you. Yep. We have Graveyard Keeper for 6 of Cyrus, and Foregone, myself. Yeah. So, definitely looking forward to talking about that. A lot of good things to say. So,
indeed.
This Sunday.
Yeah, so anyone who catches this, and it'll probably go up after the podcast, so I apologize. But you can always catch the VOD or download the MP3 of that as well if you're into that thing. If you like this podcast, you might enjoy the Indie Source as well, where we discuss and review individual games, and it's kind of fun. But tonight, we are going to end up rating one of our own, Mr. L. Spuddy. Guess what he's playing, Scott?
L. Spuddy, what's he playing?
Farming Simulator. Ooh,
boy.
I told you. All right, we're going to send everyone over there. Have yourselves a good evening. Let's start that raid. Good old L. Spuddy. I haven't seen him on in a while, just playing. So this is good. This is nice. All right, let's head on over there. Have yourselves a good evening. We'll see you Sunday. And if we don't see you Sunday, then we'll see you next week. So,
yep.
Have a good evening.
Have a good one.